Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Mormon Atheist. So this time we are at the burial site of David Whittmer and Oliver Cowdery. Let's say alleged burial site. Um, I really wish I could turn this camera back, switch it. So to give everybody an update, we are traveling around the Mormon areas in far west Missouri. Right now, we're in Richmond, Missouri, which is about an hour's drive away from far west. Uh, so far, to give an update, we have been to Hans Mills. Hans Mills is just an empty field. There's nothing there. There's there's no plaques. There's no anything. It's literally just an empty field. There's no foundations of this was once here. There's no descriptions of this is what it looked like or this is where it was, or there's literally nothing there. Nothing. The only thing that was there was the guys mowing the yards, and that was it. And they were elders, and so they're I've seen a husband and a wife out there, and probably three or four other guys, and they were out there mowing these huge empty lot, and it's this huge empty lot. And he says, over there is where the well is at. And I said, the well? I go, where is that? So the well, the story of the well is the Hans Mill massacre. They killed everybody, and they put a bunch of people, they dumped their bodies in this well, right? Well, the well has never been found. So the guy says he thinks they have GPS locations of the well, but nobody's ever dug it up. Um, once again, in Mormon history, there is no history in Mormon history, right? There's no evidence of any kind. And we're going to prove that to you once again here in the burial site of Oliver Cowdery. Okay, so keep in mind, guys, this is the official burial site of Oliver Cowdery, okay? So, and the Whittmer family. So first thing is we got this big giant monument right here, okay? And you guys know everything on this, right? The testimony of the witnesses, David Whittmer. I'm not even going to read that to you because that's in the Book of Mormon right there. Okay, so this side right here is Oliver Cowdery. This is the testimony of the Book of Mormon. Again, this is Martin Harris' side. So Martin Harris. And then here's Joseph Smith. So this title right here, if you go to loc.gov and type in that title right there and put in Deseret, characters of Deseret, and you'll see what some authors have said is the very first edition of the Book of Mormon in the Deseret character letters. That's at loc.gov. I've done another video on it, the Lost Book of Mormon. So, all right, so let's get to it here. We got graves. Okay, now I'm gonna pan around and I want you to see this is a field. Okay, it's like kind of a hilltop. Whoa, someone's dog. It's kind of a hilltop. Okay, and then you can see the graves, right? Okay, so these graves. So these are headstones, and then they took them and they encased them in the cement like this, right? But so I've already walked through the whole site. One thing I want you to notice, I don't know if you can see, is the imagery on these headstones, right? Uh, just for sake of time, because I'm getting kind of tired of feeling like I'm getting shut down here with this Mormon history. I'm not finding any history. I'm not finding any history. But what I am finding, though, is a whole bunch of this kind of stuff. I don't know if you can see that or not, but those are Freemason symbols. There's a lot of Freemasonry in this graveyard. There's a couple really good ones I'm going to show you. Anyways, like what I was saying, is for time and things of that sort. Just Oliver Cowdery is not in this cemetery. So you see the Freemason, the compass, and then the hand. Okay. So here's one over here that's really good. It's really good. And once again, Oliver Cowdery and David Whittmer are not in this grave, in this site. At least their headstones aren't. Now, you can argue, right? You can argue, well, they moved them. Okay, you have to remember something. These are the witnesses of the Book of Mormon, you understand? There's nothing that has anybody like, hey, this is Oliver Cowdery, look, like nothing, right? There's nothing like that anywhere around that I've found. There's nothing. It's like, well, he may have been there, or they possibly could have. Okay, listen, you're literally talking about the witness, the interpreter, the translator, right? The scribe of the Book of Mormon, and you're leaving this this area open, right? This room for debate, right? Like kind of on purpose, because there is no Oliver Cowdery. There's no Oliver Cowdery. I cannot find Oliver Cowdery in real life history sources. We're in the graveyard, folks. We're in Richmond, Missouri. This is where Oliver Cowdery is supposed to be buried. He's supposed to be buried right here on this little hilltop, and he's not here. There's nothing. There's all kinds of little graves. You see all these? All those little cement patches over there? Okay? Those are graves. Those are all graves, guys. But there's no Oliver Cowdery. Okay, do you get what I'm saying here? Do you get my point? Do you see what I'm saying? Why isn't there anything that's on a pedestal? You got that monument over there, right? That you got that monument, that big thing, but that doesn't say anything. That all that marker is saying is, this is the graves, or this is where they're supposed to be buried. And to be totally honest with you, that marker is not even technically in the graveyard. Okay, so this one I thought was cool, because this is another Freemason one, and this is actually the most prominent marker stone in the entire graveyard. But check this guy out. It's got the G on there and everything. Look at that. So there's probably 7 or 8 of those Freemason marks on here that are in this site. There is no Oliver Cowdery, but let's walk over here and we'll get over to the David Whittmer family plot. There is a Jacob Whittmer, though. But hold on, let's read it and see what it says, because I think it says something different than what we're being told. So let's check this out. Okay, so here is Jacob Whittmer's marker stone. Okay, I'm going to try to get it to where you can see it, the whole thing here. That's his marker stone right there. Okay, this is the rest of the family. Okay, I'm going to zoom out so you guys can see. Okay, notice the names. Tanner. Okay, D. Tanner. That says Anna, wife of David Tanner. And then this one, it's all broken up, and it was placed like that. So why would they do that, right? So Sally E., daughter of J and E. Whittmer. Okay, well, J and E. Whittmer. Well, hold on now, because we have a plaque right here. And on this plaque, it actually reads, I don't know if the shadow is messing you up, but here, let's just take this out of here. It actually reads, in this section of the cemetery are the graves of Peter Whittmer. Okay, I didn't see a Peter Whittmer, did you guys? Grave of Peter Whittmer, in whose home in Fayetteville, Seneca County. Well, that doesn't even make sense, right? In whose home in Fayetteville, Seneca County, New York, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, who organized April, and his wife, Mary, okay, his son, Jacob Whittmer, of the 8 witnesses of the Book of Mormon, Jacob Whitmer's two daughters of Jacob Whittmer, and their relatives, they were all residents of Richmond. Well, so their own story doesn't even back up what graves are even here. That's their own plaque, guys. That's their own plaque. This whole cemetery is built and maintained by the church. And what that plaque says and what's actually here are two different things. You see what I'm saying? More inconsistencies of the church. But how do you get this stuff? You know, if you're not here, if you're not reading this stuff, and if you're not paying attention to it, and if you're not looking at it, right? Okay, so this is the 4th place now that I've been let down that I came to. Okay, so let me put this in perspective. If I was going on this trip, okay, and I'm bringing my family, and we're gonna go look at the discoveries of the Mormon Church, and I go to the Adam Adonai site, or however you say that, and that's where the Garden of Eden, or that's where the altar is supposed to be for Adam and Eve, and you get there and it's just a grass garden with a pathway, and that's it. There's no altar, there's no anything. There's just, it's nothing. It's the top of a hill that they turned into a garden. Okay, Hans Mill is an empty field. There's nothing there. This graveyard is supposed to be the burial site of Oliver Cowdery, and he's not here. There is no marker. There's literally nothing here that says this is the spot of Oliver Cowdery or David Whittmer, but yet if you read church history and you go through church history, this spot right here is literally where Oliver Cowdery is supposed to be buried, right here, and he's not here. So once again, I cannot find anything outside of church sources to validate this person named Oliver Cowdery. I can't do it. And I've even came to his burial site, and he's not even here. The elusive Oliver Cowdery. The elusive Oliver Cowdery. Okay, guys, Apostate Congregation, like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. My Hans Mill video I did turned out really sucky because it's out in the middle of nowhere and there's no internet. And here I'm in the middle of a neighborhood, so I'm just using my phone, so it's just my data. But anyways, here it's almost, what time is it? Almost 5. It's almost 5:30 in Richmond, Missouri is where I'm at the gravesite of Oliver Cowdery, which Oliver Cowdery seems to not be here. He missed his date, damn it. Oliver Cowdery. So yeah, tomorrow I'm going to be bringing you guys to the Liberty Jail. We're going to go to Liberty, and we're going to check that place out. And hopefully we find something there, because there's nobody here. I've been here for almost 2 hours now. I ate lunch. I ate some food. And not a single person has came in this cemetery right here. So Hans Mills, there was nobody there. Just the lawnmowers. That was it. The temple. Something happened to my temple video, so it won't play for some reason. I know it did play because I watched it twice. I watched it, so I know it worked, and other people have viewed it. But for some reason, it won't play now. So I don't know. Maybe somebody didn't like the fact that I was at the temple. I don't know. I don't know. But anyways, yeah. So we were at the temple this morning. We were at the Far West Temple. We did a thing on the cornerstones, and that was a pretty interesting place, the temple. And speaking of the temple, I hope all of you have been reading your Treatise of Solomon, so you know what that specifically in Mormonism, what that temple is supposed to represent, right? You guys understand that? Okay, so that's it for today. I'm gonna call it a night, and I'm gonna go find some place to eat and get some food in my belly. And since I'm gonna be here, I'm gotta get a motel or something. So maybe I'll be shaved or something. I've been traveling for 3 days, and I've got 2 more days to go. So yeah, it's been an interesting ride. We're going to Florida, and I figured that I would stop in Far West on the way, because it's only a 30-minute, like a little 30-minute jaunt, from the freeway going to Florida. So being the Mormon atheist, I thought to myself, how can you pass this up? You have to bring this to your congregation. The apostates need to see this. And so I thank all of you guys for watching. I thank you all for subscribing. We are on a quest for Mormonism. And so far, I have to say, when it comes to actual physical evidence, we are at the sites, congregation. We're at the sites. And these things are just empty fields. There's no evidence of any of this stuff. There's literally zero evidence that Hans Mill even ever existed. It's an empty field, man. There's nothing there. There's no foundations. There's no remnants. The ground looks like it's never even been broken. Like it, I mean, you people that dig holes, you know that. You can tell if the ground's been muddled with, or, and yes, even all that time ago, you can still tell. What do you think archaeologists do, right? Granted, I'm not an archaeologist, but I can look at a field, and when that thing is as flat as a soccer field, when my very first impression was, man, they should have kids out here playing soccer. That's what my first impression was, because it's so flat and well groomed for a field out in the middle of nowhere. That field, Hans Mill, is literally in the middle of nowhere. You have to drive down a 2.5-mile dirt road to get to it. That's how far out in the middle of nowhere that place is. And it's a field. It's, no kidding, just a field in the middle of nowhere that the grass is mowed. And that's it. That's it. That's all it is. It's in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing around it. There's nothing. It's in the middle of nowhere. All right, guys. So I'm going to do once I get to Florida and get everything all squared away and everything, I'm going to do kind of a put all this together video. Instead of having 5 separate videos of each one of these sites, we're going to just put them all together and talk about all of them, because they're extremely lackluster. Let me tell you, like, lackluster. You can argue feeling the spirit, but the only spirit I'm feeling is, when I have to pay for gas to drive to these places to find nothing there. That's the spirit I'm feeling. I'm feeling the hole in the tithing. I need tithing, folks. Come on, Pay your tithing, pay up. The Mormon atheist needs gas money to get to these Mormon sites. That's great stuff, man. Great stuff. All right. Anyways, yeah, so tomorrow is going to be Liberty Jail. We're going to be at Liberty Jail tomorrow. I'm going to drive there tonight and spend the night, and that way I can be up bright and early before anybody gets there and stuff, because that really worked out well this morning. Going to the temple, there was nobody there, and it was an open door, everything. I just walked in, walked around, made myself at home. That's the visitor center, or the little convenience store there, and there's a little shack that's next to it, and there's actually no temple there. Isn't that crazy? That's a temple, and there's no temple there. There's not even evidence of a temple ever being there. They have the cornerstones that are literally, like, you can legit look at it and you can tell, dude, that was put there like 10 years ago. You can tell. You can tell. Just look at it. Any construction person that comes to this site, that looks at that temple in Far West and looks at those cornerstones, there is no way possible those are cornerstones. You can watch the video. I don't know why you can't play it, but for some reason you can't play it now. So hopefully that fixes itself. Hopefully somebody didn't mess up my video. But anyways, all right, guys, no Oliver Cowdery to report, no David Whittmer to report. We do have a Jacob Whittmer, but the lineage, as you can see in the plaque itself, and what is on the headstones that are there, are not the same thing. They're talking about two different people. J.W., J.E. There's no J.E. Who's J.E.? His wife's name was Mary. Where does the E come from? Did you catch that? Rewind the video and watch it again. His wife's name was Mary. So where does the E come from? So Sally, daughter of J and E Whittmer, right? Here, I'm standing right here, so let's look at it again. One more time before I go. Okay, here we go. Sally, daughter of J and E Whittmer. Okay. And what did the plaque say? His wife, Mary Musselman Whittmer. So who is E? Daughter of J and E Whittmer. So who is that? Who are these people that are laying here? Right? The plaque says Mary, and the headstone says J and E Whittmer. Apostate congregation, I'm going to end this video with that. So these towns, I really encourage people to come and visit Richmond. One thing I'll actually leave on this. One thing that I've noticed about driving around here is, no matter where you are, you always feel like you're kind of on top of the world because of just the view. There's nothing above you, right? But this place is just nothing but hills and valleys, and everywhere you are, it's like you're on top. Like, even when you're down in a valley, it's like you can see, and you have this weird, crazy view of just as far as you can see, and it's crazy. It's really crazy. A beautiful place. This end of Missouri is really pretty. The other side is not so much, but this side is really, really nice. So, all right, guys, enough of me rambling. I'm gonna get on. I will see you guys tomorrow in Liberty Jail. So like and subscribe to the channel, Apostate Congregation, and we will definitely see you tomorrow. And I, for one, am really disappointed that Oliver Cowdery is not in this cemetery. Have a nice night, apostate congregation.